say. I've been playing all this stuff. Look, to say, I don't really know what to say now because you're standing up. If you were sitting down and you had a drink, I could keep on going. But, you know, back in 1969, I think it was, I was in Davis. And we came up here and going Charlie Scott beat us on the last second shot. He signed with me, you know. But anyway, after the game, Kehoe said, look, I got to talk to you. I want you to come to Maryland. I said, Coach, I just lost the game. We'd gone through the Final Four. I don't want to talk about the job right now. I want to go home and relax. No, you got to come over my house. So I went over there, Joyce and I, and he gave me all this stuff. Look, we got Vince Lombardi coaching football with the Redskins. We got Ted Williams coaching baseball in the spring. And we want you to coach basketball in the fall. And I said, well, that does sound pretty good. And then he said, but I'm telling you what, you're going to make your mind up tonight. And I said, wait a minute, girl. You lost a big game on the last second shot by a guy I already signed. And anyway, he said, well, you and Joyce go downstairs, because if you don't sign tonight, I'm going to hire Morgan Wooten. So Morgan, you probably lucky I signed. Because, anyway, that's what he told me. So we made a decision to come in. It's been a great, great decision on my part. And, this thing up here is not for me. It's for all my players and coaches that are here. I mean that sincerely. I never got a rebound. I never took a shot. And it's all because of the players that we saw out here that were introduced. And, I don't know, I want to pay tribute first. I'm going to say this was, I know y'all been standing up a long time, but we lost some players that are not with us anymore, that I love, that just like I love all these guys here now. Owen Brown was a great, great young man. In fact, he was always joking, and Luke remembers this. See, I coached in high school at Greenville High School. We had a great wrestling coach there, and by the name of Billy Martin. I know how to do the Greenville roll. So they had the match out for a wrestling match. And I said, Owen, get on the mat, man. I'm going to get on the bottom, you get on the top. And I locked this elbow and turned him over, pinned just like that. And all the players, don't mess with Coach. Don't mess with Coach. But I miss Owen. He was a great, great young man. And Chris Patton, who was the day they passed the dunk, well, he used to couldn't dunk. That didn't hurt Luke because he couldn't dunk anyway. Anyway, he was out there dunking the basketball on Burns Stadium Court, and he dropped dead. Before he hit the floor, he was dead. But he's gone. My man Darryl Brown, I could talk to y'all for a week about it. Darryl, we had a big fight down there in South Carolina, and I mean, John Reebok hit me out bleeding. Joe was throwing clipboards up in the stands, and it was a riot. And Darryl comes in the locker room after he said, Coach, I knocked 3 guys out, but I think I might have broke my hand. So I said, good going, Darryl. I said, we'll take you over to the hospital, make sure it's not broken, right? So we get a police escort, because they're waiting for us outside. So we get him to the hospital, and he comes back with his hand all wrapped up. I said, how is it, Darryl? He said, just sprain, bad sprain, real bad sprain. It was all taped up. See, back then, Coach, we didn't have all this, you can watch a game after a film, or whatever you call it, I don't know, video, whatever. Anyway, right after the game, we had to send film off to DC. We didn't get it back for 2 or 3 days. Well, Darryl walked around with his hand all taped up, and so when the film came back, it was perfect. Darryl was hiding under the stands, ain't hit anybody. So I can tell you a whole lot of more stories about Darryl. But I miss Darryl. He was a trip. I know one time he borrowed Tom's car and left it over in Baltimore. Tom was trying to get home for Christmas. So, right, Tom? Tom was mad at him. I said, Tom, it's just Darryl. And then Taylor Baldwin, God bless his soul, he died of a tumor on his brain. Then Jim Maloney, one of our assistant coaches, when I first got here, he died about 10 years ago. And the story I remember about Jim, I sent him out to Kentucky to recruit somebody, right? So the coach calls me back the next day and says, Coach, don't ever send that coach up here again. I don't want to see him again. I said, what's the matter? He said, well, we lost the games, so he got out his magic marker on the hall right in front of the principal's office and tried to tell me how to beat the zone press. And then we had to paint the whole darn hallway. But that was Jim. And then, of course, Lenny Bias, you know, Tony Massenberg and Walt Williams are writing a book about him. Because a lot of people at Maryland, for some reason, hold Lenny Bias is hurting Maryland, or hurting them in some way, which I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, Lenny Bias made a terrible mistake. Okay, he came back from signing a multi-year contract, and somebody brought in some cocaine, and he sniffed it, and it killed him. It was just bad judgment, a bad mistake. But he didn't hurt anybody else. Like Tony was saying, Marilyn Monroe died from drugs. Ain't nobody hold that against her. You know, Michael Jackson died of drugs. Ain't nobody hold that against him. Elvis Presley died of drugs. Ain't nobody hold that against him. Because Leonard didn't hurt anybody but himself. And you know, I hope one thing, all y'all get together and get Leonard in the Hall of Fame. Because he was Athlete of the Year, and Lucas was Athlete of the Year in the ACC. Maryland had the three. The other one was Skeets Nehemiah. And Leonard led the ACC in scoring 2 years. I can't tell you all the things that he did. Mike Krzyzewski said he and Michael Jordan are the two best players he ever played against. And Leonard, to me, and I've had a lot of guys tell me that they came to Maryland after Leonard died because of Leonard, because they knew about Maryland because of Leonard Bias. But I miss Leonard like he was my son. And you know, some people say, oh, Leonard was a bad student. That's a bunch of crap too. Pardon my English, but you know, Leonard, had he passed all of his subjects his senior, the second semester of his senior year, he'd have been 6 credits short. But he flunked them all because it was, wow. I told him to drop them or take an incomplete. He said, Coach, this is Leonard. I'm gonna pass him. But he didn't, because he was out trying out for all the NBA teams and playing an all-star team. So he was, the newspaper said, oh, he was 21 credits short. Why was he in summer school? If he wasn't interested in getting a degree, why was he in summer school? As a matter of fact, he was paying his own way to summer school. So Leonard Bias was an excellent student, a born-again Christian, and a great young man that I miss dearly, and I think of him all the time. I don't want to get started on all of that, but you know, those people are not with us anymore. And then like Jim Kehoe, the guy that hired me, he's not here. Tom Fields, who's the one, when I got here, I think the Turpin Club, you can check this out. I think they were raising about $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. When he left, they were raising $4, $5, $6 million. But Tom Fields, Bob Novak, who was a great fan of ours, he's not here. Marv Curry was dying of cancer, right? He called me once a week, said, Lefty, how's your back? I said, don't worry about my back. You get well, Marv. He said, he called me every week. And Marv Curry was a great guy. And then Betty Placetta was my secretary along with Sheila. And where is Sheila? Yeah, there she is. And Betty Placetta ran the office. All these players knew about Betty. And I miss, those people are gone. And I just, I feel sorry for them. Oh my gosh, yeah, Mr. Basketball, Jack Hyde. In fact, he's the one that came down to see me at Davidson first about coming to Maryland. I said, Jack, I'm not going to Maryland. I got a team ranked third in the country. I got 4 starters coming back. I got a freshman guard that averaged 37 points a game. I ain't coming to Maryland. But he's the first one who came in and talked to me. And Jack is like Mr. Basketball. I don't know how. See, when you get to be 81, your memory goes bad. So, but those are people that really, that I feel for, and I pray for them at night. I know they're in heaven right now with the Lord. And, you know, I also want to thank my family. Joyce, stand up. Joyce is a big fan. This is my number one recruit. I recruited her when she was 17 years old, and she wasn't too smart. We've been married. She's the prettiest cheerleader we had at high school where I was playing or coaching or whatever. That's enough. See, but all you players in here know that you've eaten meals over that she cooked. She's a great cook, and she's my best buddy. And then my children, you know, Pam, stand up, Pam. I'm so proud of Pam. She's a senior minister. If y'all live in Atlanta, go hear her preach. She preaches a lot better than I can talk. And they got 3,000 members, and she's a tremendous Christian and somebody that I love to death. And her husband, Joe. And where's Walker? One of my grandsons is in here somewhere. Yeah, he's up there sitting down probably. And then my youngest daughter, Carolyn, stand up, Carolyn. And my grandchildren, where's Christian? Christian and Jake and Charlie, where are they? They going to bed? And Brett, her husband, where's Brett Kingmeyer? Where is he? Do I have any other family here? Chuck got sick, and my oldest daughter, Patty, got sick, and Patty graduated from the University of Maryland, cum laude. She took after her mother and, in the brain part. But anyway, you know, I'm lucky to have had a wonderful family, and I can tell y'all some stories about Buck Williams. Was the meanest guy I've coached. You know what they used to do now? When you go up before the game and say the center for Virginia's Ralph Sampson, they say center for Maryland with Buck Williams, and Buck got them great big hands. They put their hands up like a fool like that. Ralph would go. And everybody started doing it in the ACC. They were starting fights before the game. And now they don't do that anymore. They just go out. He wasn't trying to be dirty, he just fired up. He's a great Christian man too. In fact, he and I used to go to Berwyn Baptist Church. And so Buck one day says, hey coach, we gotta have a retreat. I said, a retreat? Yeah, you and me and Reverend Chilton, we're going up to where was it? Camp David up there, and they were the president goes to the Baptist retreat. And I said, okay, I'll tell the players. And everybody said, Ernest said, oh, I got my grandmother's sick. I got to get married. And everybody else started making excuses. Well, I got to go somewhere. I said, Buck, tell them. And they were scared of Buck, so Buck said, y'all are going. So we went up there, and Reverend Chilton read the Bible, and Buck did some stuff, and we said, y'all want to do this again? Every one of them said, yes. So I did it every year after that. I did it at JMU, and I did it at Georgia State. And Buck started that tradition. It was his idea because, you know, I'm proud of my daughter's a preacher, and Buck's Adrian Branch, y'all won't believe this, but Adrian Branch is a very strong Christian. In fact, I got him to speak at some of my retreats when I was at Georgia State. And, you know, I'm proud of Adrian, too. He's on TV, Lenny's on TV. I got about 10 coaches that I coached or that played for me that are in basketball now. Buck was an assistant coach last year with Phoenix Suns, and, you know, John Lucas is one of my favorites. You know what? Y'all, Mark probably knows this, but I got to know a lot of these guys' parents. And you know, John, Big John, he was a great guy. I mean, you know, he was the principal of Hillside High School, and his mother was a teacher, and a lot of these parents I got very close to, and I'm proud of them all. And you know, I got a whole lot of stuff I can talk about, but I know y'all want to sit down. Can we keep this after what? What? Oh, I got a time limit? She said, I'm serious. But anyway, I really do want to thank, and I can't tell you, where is Billy Hahn? You know, y'all talk about all these guys that made All-American, but the substitutes were very important to me. In fact, I go to Billy Hahn. Where is Hahn? All right, I would come in. He never played that much because he said he played behind Lucas and Brad Davis, two great point guards. That's the reason he couldn't get to play. But he would come in, and I'd come in at the half, and I'd say, you know, I didn't say anything. Billy, I always waited outside to talk to assistant coaches for a minute, and I'd hear Billy and them, you SOB, you ain't sticking, you all are terrible, you ain't playing any defense, everybody's shooting the ball when you shouldn't be shooting. And, I mean, so from then on, I just kind of waited outside. Until Billy got chewing them out, got through chewing them out. So Billy did a lot, and not only him, but Stoney Ball and all these guys in here. And Albert King. Albert was a great. I see his brother just got in the Hall of Fame, and in fact, Bernard came to speak to my team when I was at Georgia State. And George said, that's the best speaker I've ever heard. And Albert was a great player. I mean, y'all don't remember this, but he got the MVP in the tournament, and we got beat by 1 point by Duke because Denard undercut Buck when Buck was ready to tap it in. And, you know, talking about the ACC tournament, do you all realize that we went in the finals 6 times? And if we didn't win all those tournaments, if we won by, I got it written down here, we lost by 1 to North Carolina in 63. We lost by 2 to NC State, 76 to 74. Lost to NC State by 3 points in overtime. We lost. I guess my time is up. And we lost to North Carolina 61 to 60 in the finals. And then we finally beat Duke in, what did we beat them by? 73 to 64. And, you know, we were right there in all those games, just poor coaching. I ain't good enough team. But anyway, I just want to thank all my players. That was great seeing everybody up there. And, you know, I'm getting old now. I can't hardly walk. But, you know, it was just tremendous seeing everybody. And where's Tom Roy? Old Tom's here. Where is he? Tom was always when he's got making all kind of noise playing defense. So we played Duke about 3 years after he's graduated. And I heard his fans saying, Roy sucks, Roy sucks, Roy sucks. He hadn't even played in 3 years.